Back Road Ministry, the world for me. Sister Mike coming at you live and direct once again from the Key Optima Studios. So let's continue with our us breakdown. We went over some of the numbers, and you know, a lot of times I'm gonna start putting the numbers up. You guys gonna have to start doing some research. Let's hit up our gematria. Let's get on the internet. Let's get on YouTube. Let's start looking. You know, I want you guys to see some of this stuff for yourself. I don't want to be the type where you be like, well, he said. No, do some research. Because like I say, there's different ways to look at everything. You might look at it a totally different way than I do. I just point out some of the obvious things that I see, or some of the things that are pretty much given. You know, so sometimes, you know, the elite works by giving you things. You know, just take what they give you. So we talked about the number 11 and the duality with the double 11s, 11-11, Jeremiah 11:11 is the verse you need to read. 11-11 make 22, so we see a lot of 11 in the headlines. Anytime you see 11, a lot of times you'll hear or see 22 right behind it. It's just something that they do to show you their, you know, infatuation with duality. So we talk about like 88 things like that. 77, which you also saw in the numbers breakdown. And one thing about 77, let's connect that to the number 42, which is our nigger number. As we always say, anytime they got something about African Americans, anybody that of African descent, they got 42 pinged all over the film, all over the story. And no different here from Jordan Peele. He's got it pinged all over the damn story. So I wanted to look at 77 because 77 was the year, the last time they had a blackout in New York City, the 77 blackout. And that was in July. So since we're in the year of chaos, I want us to watch out for another blackout because that was approximately 42 years ago. Remember, this whole film was about organized and staged chaos. That's what the whole film was about if you paid attention to the movie. It's about organized and staged chaos. So watch for any signs of any strange going on in July to kind of mark, you know, as a way to mark the anniversary of the 1977 blackout. We tied a lot to Boston possibly winning all the titles this year. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about basketball. They already won football. They won baseball, football already. So we headed to basketball. Hockey is a possibility. And soccer, I got to see if they got a soccer team. Because if they got a soccer team, then we totally and definitely will hit the laws of five. Remember, we talk about the laws of five. So the laws of five basically state that whatever combination you got of numbers, you'll find five in there somewhere. And, you know, all over us, we got five. And he makes it clear that he's going to focus on the number five because the song he plays in the film in the beginning is, I got five on it. I got five on it. So this is who this person is. A lot of times we want to see African American, but we don't see agenda elite puppet. We don't see that piece. We just want to see African American. And the mockery is right in your face because this person knows about the laws of five, comes with I got five on it. So 5 is the number of change. You'll see 5, you see 14, 41, which is 13 prime number. 13 is all about change. All these numbers are about change. And in this film, this was is about organized chaos to provoke change. Organized chaos to provoke change. And how did they provoke the change? Through all-out revolt, revolution, and murder. Killing. 44 staple all over the film. The best way to promote change and revolution is murder. They're going to kill a whole bunch of people, and they're going to bound the world in war. And pretty much that what was going on. The world was bound in a state of perpetual war where those below wage war against those above, pretty much. They want to control. And everybody below wore red, the color of war, in order to symbolize that they were at war with those above. So we see, I think we left off talking about how, you know, the 4 others had gotten in a home, and now we have 8 individuals in a home. So we talk about the duality of 44. 44 goes back to kill. 4 plus 4, of course, equals 8. So do your symbolism on the number 8. We go back to 84. We get 4 plus 4, go 8, 84. So we go back to the 84 piece. Remember, it's been 84 years since the team has won all the sports titles. So inside of the year of chaos, be looking to see some of these records or some of these historical events be ritualized. They'll be ritualized possibly this year. So be watching for that. Okay. We see the wearing of masks. So Jason and his doppelganger, Jason and his other, I always say I use the other, always, Jason liked to wear the mask. His other wore a mask, but he wore a full face mask. We don't know why until Jason has him remove the mask. Jason learns that he controls himself, and he has control over himself because he's a child. He hasn't lost the ability like the adults have to control themselves. Remember, as we grow, we allow our other to take over sometimes. We allow the individual inside of us just to take control. But as a child, you still have some control over yourself. Still understand you have some control over yourself. And Jason, early on, his curiosity led him to understand that I still have control over myself. But when he tells himself to raise his mask, Jason has on a mask too, because Jason is into wearing these masks. So masks usually hide deception, because this movie is it's just a movie about deception. That's all it's about. It's about deception. The easiest way to be deceived, especially in my line of work, is we deceive ourselves. I work with people that suffer from addiction. Addicts deceive themselves. Addiction is all about deception. I come at you one way when in reality I'm totally different. And the addiction sometimes brings out our other. Remember, the deception is our mask, is I'm not this nice, calm, peaceful character who really doesn't say what I want to say until the addiction gets in me. Then I open up and I let the monster out. So when Jason's doppelganger Pluto raises his mask, we see that he's burnt himself. He loves playing with fire. Man, we talk a lot about fire and purification. And the fire damaged Pluto's face. So Pluto is deformed. So he wears his mask to hide the fact that he's deformed, to hide the fact that his playing with fire led to, him being disfigured. The other Jason also wears a mask. He doesn't know why he wears a mask. So this goes back to the below kind of controlling the above. But like I said, we can always go vice versa on who's controlling who. This is why we probably with Jason, the above needed a mask, because the below had disfigured his face. So now the monster was burnt. So Jason now wears a mask as to conceal the monster and conceal the damage that happened to the monster. Kind of that ritualistic saying is a poem called "We Wear the Mask That Grins Our Lives." The mask usually conceals who we really are, covers up the ugliness that we don't want people to see. So that was another kind of symbolic thing put into the film. So the young man's name is Pluto. He goes into the esoteric piece of this, talking about Pluto. We start talking about planets inside of this and the symbolism in planets. So I'll let you guys do the research on Pluto and get your breakdown of why Jordan Peele used Pluto, the planet Pluto, to kind of describe Jason's doppelganger. Okay, so we see a lot of symbolism in the film. And the biggest piece of it, when the doppelgangers state that they're Americans, they pretty much tell Adelaide what they're there for. Well, they tell Adelaide's husband after he asks what they're there for and what this was all about. They kind of explain the idea of the tethered. But the big piece is they say they're Americans. They're Americans who are looking for their own control. So we say that at times, various things are used to keep the control. So TV, the programming, the movies, the music. the drugs. These are various things that the elite utilize to keep us under control, keep us tethered, keep us bound to them. And everybody wants to break the tethering. But how do you break the tethering? So Jordan Peele suggests you revolt and begin the killing. But they use the African American woman, Ishtar, the goddess of war, as the spark. Remember how Jason, he's constantly clicking this thing and you see the spark. The African American being the spark for this revolution, because they need us to start the revolution. They can't do it by themselves. And they've been trying to organize chaos this whole year to get us to do something crazy, to get us to be the spark, start the revolution. Remember now, some of these people plan on getting the fuck up out of America, letting us rip it apart, and then coming back to put the pieces back together. That's pretty much what this is all about. But to do this, you need war. To do this, you need more organized chaos. To do this, you need all-out revolt. This is the continued agenda. This is the continued agenda. It's all about deception. Jordan Peele is a part of deception. The 35, the 15, he's a part of the deception. And this whole movie is just about deception. I'm not going to, get into the deep parts of the movie, because if you want to watch it and see how deep the deception goes, you can watch it for yourself and kind of get a sense of how deep the deception goes. But at the end, you see the deception. You see the true deception at the end of the movie, and you find out who is really the deceiver. And it goes back into how the elite tried to sell that evil is good. They try to sell us this. Evil is good. Demons are great. They try to sell us these concepts all the time. And the number one concept they try to sell us is evil is good. Demons are good people. They can be trusted. They can change. It's all right to be evil, because that's the message that in a lot of these movies, especially the ones with Disney, they try to sell. If you see movies like Maleficent, this demon, she's such a good person, a person who's willing to murder an infant child is a good person. But they try to sell these narratives and sell this to people. They want us to buy it. And at the end of this movie, you'll kind of be in that same sense of, okay, how do I feel about this? Who do I side with? What concept do I side with? What concept? Because really there's no loser at the end of the movie. It's not really a loser. Because when we say what's in the dark shall come to the light. So everything that's in the dark in this film does come to the light. That's just the reality of man. Anything you do in the dark will be exposed. Sooner or later, it's going to expose it. Either you're going to expose yourself or something else will bring it to the light. But things are exposed. So that part of the film does come out. But the notion that evil is good, evil intent is good intent, is the biggest agenda of the elite. They try to sell everything they do, no matter how evil it is, as good intent to the masses. And that's what we have to really begin to look at, that evil intent has never been good intent. Evil intent is just what it is. Evil intent. Evil intent is just what it is. Evil intent. Mr. Mockley, Back Row Ministry, signing off.